Have you ever heard somebody say mind, body and soul? Well, there's actually another bit to that, and it's all got something in it that applies to counselling. Hello everyone, my name is Rich Pearson. I'm a professional counsellor and psychotherapist based in Falmouth in Cornwall, and today we are going to be talking about the connections model. Now, I have to be a little bit careful here, as the term connections model isn't exactly trademarked or copyrighted, but it is something that directly relates to where I did my training. And various different other places will have different names for this theory, essentially. But the theory essentially stands that we've referred to as the connections model, so I'll carry on referring to it as that, is this idea that human beings are made up of four individual parts: the mind, the body, the soul, and the emotions. Now, I'm doing it like that because I was always shown it on a piece of paper where you had it drawn into quarters and you had those four separate bits: mind, body, soul, emotions. Doesn't matter exactly where they are. Hopefully it just means that they are sharing an equal amount of it. And it's really helpful to all of us as counsellors to understand when we talk to our clients what is going on and where it's happening, where the issue is coming from. So people sometimes will say they feel really tired, and I might say to them, okay, is that like a body kind of tiredness? Is it an emotional kind of tiredness? Is it a soul type of tiredness? And things like that are really helpful ways of, first of all, helping the client to understand where their issue is, because it might not be so easy for them to spot what's actually happening. And it also helps us in the sort of quasi-diagnostic kind of work that we do in trying to help other people figure out what is going on in their lives. So the connections model essentially states, again, that there's four parts to people: mind, body, soul, emotions, and that what we would always hope for is that there's a relationship, a sort of, I think of it as like a little wheel in the middle that's sort of going around like that, taking from each and giving back to each in equal amounts. So what you would always hope is that your mind, your body, your soul, and your emotions are all working together in unison. And I mean, I can give a really good example of this. I come from a background in professional sports. I've been a professional cyclist for about 15 years before I decided to become a counsellor. And it's really important for people at the top of this game to have a really good emotional, mental, physical, and soulful connection to all parts of what it is they're trying to do. And you can really see this in the top guys and girls who are competing at the highest levels in any sport. You can see that not only is their body usually at the absolute top of what it needs to be in terms of physique, stamina, training, strength, everything else like that, endurance. Their mind is usually absolutely focused on what it is they have to do. They're emotionally attached to it. They love what they're doing. They're so excited about it. Even if they don't win, even if they don't get that gold medal, it's still brilliant, and they love it. And I can really relate to that because, as I say, I've been a professional mountain biker for 15 years. I've been riding bikes for about 25 years, and I still love it so much. And then there's the soul element. Now, I struggled to understand what soul kind of meant a little bit to start with, because I thought of soul as like something religious, and I'm not particularly religious myself. I thought of it as something that was like, oh, your immortal soul, like your spirit or anything like that. And a lecturer that was on my course gave me a really good piece of advice when trying to think about it, because it's important that, you know, even if I don't believe in the idea of a human being having a soul, that I can relate to other people. And the lecturer that I had, he said to me, try not to think of it as a soul in the very religious kind of sense. Try and think of it as more a purpose, a reason for being, you know. And I remember thinking that that's a really interesting way of describing it, and it really helped me to understand better what it was that it meant for that fourth part of myself that I previously hadn't really been able to connect with. So, in summary, often counsellors in, I haven't been to every kind of training place, but I've been to a couple of them, will be taught that there are, in some metaphorical senses, 4 different parts to a person: mind, body, soul, and emotions. And that what we're trying to aim to do is to get there to be that kind of relationship in between those kind of things. Because people can be confused about it. People can say like, oh, I feel really run down, but they've done everything they can to make their body not feel run down, and nothing's changed. And the fact is actually that it might be their soul that really needs the attention, because they're feeling physically fine because they're doing manual labor all day, but that they don't want to be doing that. They actually want to be a poet or an actor or a scientist or something else. So their body is in tip-top shape, but their soul is yearning for something else. And then there's a balance there to that. So if they go and do something else, well, maybe their soul is fulfilled by what they're doing, but emotionally it's really hard work, because maybe they have to put a lot of dedication in to meet that, and so they don't have time for emotional connections with their friends or loved ones or anything else. Or maybe the body starts to suffer because of it, or the mind is not as involved as it once was, or is overstimulated now. There's a lot to consider. But if you're not a counsellor and you're just reading this or listening to this in terms of thinking about how can this help you, if you have any kind of problem, the first thing to kind of really do is think about, where is that problem? Where is that problem within you? If you're feeling like you're in the wrong kind of place, is it because you want to be somewhere hotter or colder just so that your body can feel something nice? Or does your soul desire something else? Or does your mind need greater stimulation? Or do your emotions need a different kind of outlet? It's really important to consider these things. And if you'd like to know more information about this, please subscribe to my channel, as I'm going to be doing more videos, I think, on the connections model and the mind, body, soul, emotions connection as we go on. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you all tomorrow for the next video. Thanks very much.